So I want to hand out something I'm calling a Mythic Map. Now, what this is, we'll talk about it. What this is, hopefully, is a chance to take our world into symbology and then use those symbols to write new songs or to make paintings, that material out there. And we need to create that consciously. So that's what this is about. This is about a conscious creation of a new mythology for permaculture. Just as I say that we need the sacred in permaculture, we also need new stories and myths to go with it, to strengthen it, to replace the old stuff. A woman today was talking about reprinting our culture, and so that's what I'm all about. Trying to reprint, move ahead, get to the good stuff, leave the old stuff behind. Okay.
Otherwise, they're really into having their kids be involved in growing plants, for instance, or permaculture things, as long as they don't have permaculture label on it. So,
interesting. Is permaculture a dirty word then?
To some people,
Yeah. To some people
it's
it
a
is.
scary word.
It is. It's a new wave that's rolling towards them, and they don't like it.
All right, well, my suggestion is that we just dig in. If you look at this matrix, I have symbol checking on the top and transmutation on the bottom. So hopefully, as we fill us up with symbols, we'll be committing the act of alchemy, which is one of my things. Transmutation is alchemy to me. So it's the thought to the drawing on a piece of paper. That's the alchemic process. It's transformation. It's pretty simple. Do you buy that? That this is going to be alchemic? You do?
I'll buy it.
Good deal. Okay, folks, so we're going to spend a couple of minutes drawing symbols in the boxes. And you'll see that they're labeled nature, sacred, work, songs, poetry, dreams, and play. So whatever comes up, make a symbol out of it. Okay, well, how about nature? How about a tree? Or sacred? How about the reservoir? See where I'm going? Nature. How about a sacred garden, right? That combines both words. The challenge is to put it into a graphic form. That's the transmutation here. That's what I need to see. So symbols are also signs, and signs point us to the right direction. So if we have new signs on the planet, we're going to be better off. So there's a lot of ramifications to using a symbolic.
I guess that came to me because the hand is kind of a universal symbol for working, and sort of like to go with the theme of a new myth. All work being done with love in your hands is something that a value that I have that I see kind of fitting into the permaculture age of work always being out of love.
Okay. Would you hand that to that woman next to you? She needs a card. Thanks. Yeah, that's beautiful. Somebody else have a work symbol.
I've got a work symbol.
Symbol over here.
Transforming linear motion to rotary motion, because its work can be transformative, so it can change things from one shape to one force to another force. And that it also has to do with time. So my linear motion is turning my rotary motion, and that changes the clock, because everything is timely too. We're transitioning, or it's temporary. It's not permanent.
Wow. So you can see already we're making comparisons and connections with values and time and symbologies that aren't very traditional at all, are they? You talked about a sundial meaning something else. This is a crank shaft and exploding the idea of regular time. So these are what I'm calling, transmuting, being creative, getting out of the box, whatever you want to call it. That's why we start with this exercise. We want to try to get our mindset into a visual mindset and create something different. Then finally, what about songs and poetry? Does anybody have a good symbol for that?
A group of people sitting around, either singing together or listening to a story.
Oh, nice. Community. Okay.
Berenstein Bears. Starbucks.
When you think of that, what do you think of?
When I think of it, what do I think of? I think it was really family oriented. I
Okay.
can't remember any story in particular.
See? Like mine. Do you understand?
Robin Hood, King Arthur, those myths play heavy. The Greek, Norse, Native American mythology, Bible mythology, and I include Star Wars as new modern mythology. It's real heavy in our modern culture, I think, resonating with that.
Well, who wants to tell me what a myth is? Who can define that for me? Who wants to jump in any case, start that discussion?
I'll try.
Okay, go ahead.
A myth is something that it sets up these iconic characters that are having this journey that's leading them to some understanding of either themselves or the external world that they live in. That has these people interact with them in a way that either expedites that understanding of the world they live in or what's inside of them, or deters them and brings them on another journey that ups the ante on what they need or should or could be doing to continue this journey.
So who can point out permaculture hero to me? Who is that person?
Bill Mollison.
Self-holster.
Fukuoka.
You're experiencing something new, you're taking something on. What I'm getting at is the classic definition of myth by Campbell, which is threefold: the hero, journey, and initiation. That's kind of the mantra of Campbell. I'm going to add a couple of things. I'm looking at my personal point of view is that mythology has to be nature-based now, as nature is in trouble. And also, it better have a sacred component, because we're not just, skin and bones. We have other parts of our existence. So, if you look at the mythology generator, this is basically a song. To me, myth is not just a story. It's now symbols, or a set of symbols, right? Or a painting. So I want you to think about that. Think about enlarging what myth is and how it can work. So the last part of the exercise today is an opportunity to take your symbol or symbol set that you created. Think about what you value highly in culture in that lower left-hand corner, and look at parts of myth building, which to me are thinking of symbol and thinking about myth, and rewriting the myth for the permaculture folks, for everybody. Correct. Your concern was that we're just speaking to one group, our group, but we need to create myths for everybody. The new myths need to be universal, right? So, again, appreciate all your patience. Think about one dominant theme or conflict that we're struggling against today. Attach some symbology to it. Think of a character. Perhaps the character is you, right? This is your track. You're going to take on this task. Okay? So what I'm trying to get you to do now is generate a sort of mythic track. Here comes the myth. You're going to write it. Is that clear enough? Okay, so I've broken it down. And the last part of this lesson is,
the world's elites versus the people that they want to work.
right, Wall Street thing.
Self.
What'd you say, Alex?
Self.
Self?
Yeah.
Energy descent.
Energy descent. Where is it?
I feel like they're running out of oil.
Oh,
We
we
could
go.
have energy. We can, what are we going to do?
Okay. Yes. So are there symbols that we've already created to address the conflict? Are there hopes? Are there values in those symbols that we're already weaving into this journey? That's a key question. So go back and forth and check that out. And if there's not, then we need to figure out, better symbols. We need new ones. We need new signs and values to get this conflict addressed. Because if we're using the old paradigm, we probably won't solve it.
Help them, and the weather sort of obeys them. And the humans that are more connected to the empire system have to use technology. But they've developed really sophisticated technology that's almost parallel to some of those things, and it's an exploration of, what can we recreate of our real powers artificially? And that seems to me the battle is, are we going to do it artificially, or are we going to do it for real? Are we going to try and create a silver bullet to invent our way out of the problem, or are we just going to realize the problem is us and we have to stop creating it with our thoughts? And anyway, I'm going further than you asked. But the earth care people versus the technocrat people who just want to have robots serve them all day. That's the sort of the characters that I'm visualizing.
I'm wondering how many people here have read The Fifth Sacred Thing?
Yeah.
I think it was really interesting the way she avoided that conflict by saying that you can use technology, but really appropriately. So not demonizing certain people, not making them outsiders. Interesting.
Well, it's all God. It's just the application. Nothing didn't come from Earth. It's just how we apply. And the Earth can just, like my thought is always once had this woman telling me, John, everything came from the Earth. She could just go, close and shut, and swallow it, and start all over again. There's nothing that didn't come from the Earth. And I think for me, when I get that mentality, it does keep me from demonizing a lot of things, and instead seeing the application in a way that is useful to all.
Cool. Where these characters were going. I kind of envisioned people walking through a desert, finding skulls with helmets and whatnot, and going into the story from there. Like, why are these people dead? How did they get here? And kind of going through the conquistadores situation where they come to conquer and they come to extract resources, and they end up dead because they didn't understand the land they were walking through.
Just in terms of the key theme, I was thinking the search for the fountain of life as opposed to the fountain of youth. It goes back to conquistadors. But I haven't gotten to a character.
Maybe it's right here today. We found it. Never know.